The sun is setting, and the sky is beginning to darken. As the sky darkens, stars begin to appear in the night sky. The stars watch over us throughout the night. Now it's time for us to sleep under the starry sky. Let's visit each constellation and prepare for good dreams. Good evening, Aquarius. You were taken to Mount Olympus by Zeus in the form of an eagle. The beautiful youth Ganymede, who served as the cupbearer to the gods, is represented by Aquarius. Aquarius, who symbolizes divine favor, it's time to sleep under your watch. Let's say goodnight and peacefully fall asleep. Good night, Aquarius. May your kindness and service remind us that a brighter future lies in unity and compassion. Good evening, Pisces. You transformed into fish to escape from the monster Typhon. Aphrodite and her son Eros, who turned into fish, are represented by Pisces. They were tied together with a rope so they wouldn't be separated as they swam in the river. Now it's time for both of you to sleep. Say goodnight to Pisces and wish them sweet dreams. Good night, Pisces. As you swim through the stars, remember that even in the face of challenges, hope and love will guide us through. Good evening, Aries. Aries represents the golden ram that saved Phrixus and Helle from their cruel stepmother. Its fleece became the famous golden fleece, which Jason sought in his quest. But now, it's time to stop searching and dream of the golden fleece. Can you say goodnight to Jason so he can rest comfortably? Good night, Jason, and good night, Aries. The bravery of the golden ram reminds us that our courage can light the way to new possibilities and dreams. Good evening, Taurus. Zeus transformed into a grand white bull to seduce the Phoenician princess Europa. He then carried her across the sea to the island of Crete. Now, it's time to rest with Princess Europa on Crete. Say goodnight to Taurus and wish them sweet dreams. Good night, Taurus. Just as Europa was carried to safety, we too can find strength and resilience and believe in new beginnings. Good evening, Gemini. Gemini represents the twin brothers, Castor and Pollux. After Castor's death, their bond was honored by placing them in the heavens. Now it's time for them to have joyful dreams together in the heavens. Say goodnight to Gemini and wish them sweet dreams. Good night, Gemini. The bond of Castor and Pollux shows us that through connection and togetherness, the future will always be brighter. Good evening, Cancer. Cancer, you were the crab sent by Hera to assist the Hydra in its battle with Hercules. Though you lost the battle, you were honored as a constellation. Now, it's time to forget the battle and sleep soundly. Help Cancer feel comfortable and say goodnight. Good night, Cancer. Though battles may come, your stars remind us that we can always rise above and find peace in the night. Good evening, Leo. You are the Nemean lion with your strong, impenetrable skin. The Nemean lion was defeated by Hercules in his first labor. Later, you were honored as the constellation Leo among the stars. Now, it's time to rest your strong body and dream of new adventures. Say goodnight to Leo and wish them sweet dreams. Good night, Leo. Even the strongest need rest, and in our quiet moments, we find hope for a brighter tomorrow full of new adventures. Good evening, Virgo. Virgo, you represent Astrea, the virgin goddess of justice and purity. Your watch over us has ended, and now it's time to sleep. Say goodnight to Virgo and wish for a peaceful world. Good night, Virgo. In the purity of your heart, may we find the strength to bring fairness and kindness into the world. Good evening, Libra. Libra, you shine in the night sky as the scales of justice. Thus, Libra represents the goddess Astrea, who symbolizes fairness, balance, and truth. Now please watch over us under the starry sky and protect us. We say goodnight to Libra, so please continue to guard us. Good night, Libra. The balance you bring reminds us that justice and harmony are the keys to building a brighter, peaceful future. Good evening, Scorpio. Scorpio, you were sent by Artemis to battle Orion. Now it's time to forget the battle and have pleasant dreams. Say goodnight to Scorpio and wish them sweet dreams. Good night, Scorpio. As you rest, remember that even after struggles, hope and joy can bloom, lighting up the road ahead. Good evening, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you are the noble Chiron, known for your wisdom and healing abilities. You guided many heroes like Achilles and Hercules. After your death, you were honored as a constellation. Now, it's time to forget your teachings and dream of pleasant times. Help Sagittarius relax and say goodnight. Good night, Sagittarius. Your wisdom guides us toward a future full of learning, growth, and endless possibility. Good evening, Andromeda. Andromeda, you are the Ethiopian princess. Because of your mother Cassiopeia, you were offered as a sacrifice to a sea monster. But Perseus saved you, and you married him. You were then honored as the constellation Andromeda. Now, it's time to sleep happily. Say goodnight to Andromeda and wish her sweet dreams. Good night, Andromeda. May your story remind us that even in the darkest times, rescue and hope can arrive, leading to new joys and opportunities. Good evening, Cassiopeia. Queen Cassiopeia of Ethiopia boasted about her beauty, angering Poseidon. As punishment, Poseidon hung her upside down in the sky. Now, it's time for Cassiopeia to rest in the night sky. Help her relax and wish her a peaceful night. Good night, Cassiopeia. May you rest knowing that humility and kindness will always lead us to a brighter, more harmonious future. Good evening, Cygnus. Cygnus, you are the friend of Phaethon, who turned into a swan after failing to save him. Now, it's time to take deep breaths and rest. Help Cygnus relax and wish him a peaceful night. Good night, Cygnus. May the stars remind us that even in our sorrow, we can find comfort and renewal in hope. Good evening, Orion. Orion, you are the handsome hunter who boasted of his hunting skills. Your pride led to your death at the hands of Artemis, and you were placed among the stars. Now, it's time to rest peacefully beside Orion and wish him a good night. Good night, Orion. Even the greatest must rest, and through rest, we can regain the strength to create a better, more peaceful world. Good evening, Pegasus. Pegasus, you were born from Medusa's blood when Perseus defeated her. After your great feats, you were honored as a constellation by Zeus. Now, it's time to rest quietly as a constellation. Say goodnight to Pegasus and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Pegasus. May your wings remind us that the sky is never the limit, and with hope, we can soar beyond any boundary. Good evening, Perseus. Perseus, the son of Zeus, you fought the Gorgon Medusa and used her head to turn your enemies to stone. You also saved Andromeda from the sea monster Cetus. Now, you watch over us as a constellation. Say goodnight to Perseus, and he will surely watch over us. Good night, Perseus. Your courage shows that even in the face of impossible odds, hope and determination can lead to victory. Good evening, Hercules. Hercules, the son of Zeus, you defeated the Nemean lion and captured Cerberus. You accomplished many feats and were honored as a constellation. Now, you watch over us from the night sky, protecting us from danger. Say goodnight to Hercules, and he will wish us a peaceful night. Good night, Hercules. May your strength remind us that with perseverance, we can overcome any obstacle and build a brighter future. Good evening, Centaurus. Centaurus, you were the teacher of heroes like Achilles and Hercules. After your death, you became immortal and were honored as a constellation. Centaurus, you protect us from monsters. Say goodnight to Centaurus. Good night, Centaurus. Your wisdom and courage inspire us to believe that with knowledge and hope, we can create a world filled with light and peace. Good evening, Ursa Major. Ursa Major, you are Callisto, the nymph loved by Zeus. You were transformed into a bear and placed in the sky to protect you. Say goodnight to Ursa Major and wish her sweet dreams. Good night, Ursa Major. May your story remind us that even when transformed by life's challenges, protection and love always remain. Good evening, Lupus. Lupus, the wolf, was once a creature sacrificed by Centaurus. You were honored as a constellation, representing a gift to the gods. Now, it's time for Lupus to rest peacefully. Say goodnight to Lupus and wish him sweet dreams. Good night, Lupus. Your story reminds us that every sacrifice leads to new growth and that brighter days are always ahead. Good evening, Lyra. Lyra is the lyre of Orpheus, whose music was so enchanting that it charmed all who heard it. After his death, the gods honored him by placing his lyre among the stars. Now, it's time to rest from playing music and sleep. Say goodnight to Lyra, who will play beautiful music in our dreams. Good night, Lyra. Even in silence, your melodies remind us that beauty and hope can always be found in the world. Good night, constellations of the night sky. We all sleep safely under the starry sky, dreaming sweet dreams. The majesty of the stars and their gentle twinkle creates a soothing lullaby. Now, close your eyes and dream with the stars of the great universe. Sweet dreams to the little ones. Good night, constellations of the night sky.